Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another album review. My name is Christian Eschbach. All right, everyone, before we get into this review, Pandora would like to say hi as she's sitting here bugging the hell out of me. And there's a great little twist of irony to Pandora being the one that's bugging me right before this review. I just finished doing a playthrough on this wonderful mint condition original pressing of Aerosmith's Draw the Line on the original vinyl. You know, that's what I'm talking about, man. This is another album that comes courtesy of my uncle's vinyl collection. And why is the whole thing with Pandora ironic? Well, I never bothered to pick up most albums from Aerosmith's original run, you know, so the good 70s stuff, because I owned the Pandora's box set. As a matter of fact, the only album I own from the 70s is Toys in the Attic until now. And now I have Draw the Line. And I kind of really wish I had got Draw the Line sooner, because I really kind of dig this album, man. The albums that was Draw the Line, which I have always thought was a highly underrated Aerosmith song, man. That opening line, that love that. Kicks off this album at such a great rate, such a great pace. Beautiful start to this album. After that, we go into I Want to Know Why, and I'm going to be completely honest, man. Gone. Just totally forgot about it. I don't remember listening on the album. I just don't. It just did not stick at all. Critical Mass. This is one of those songs where, for me, it kind of suffers because of the name. I absolutely love this song. I love hearing this song every time I hear it. I always forget that this song is called Critical Mass. Aerosmith is weirdly one of those bands, like Led Zeppelin that way too, where you really actually do have to take the time to look at the track listing and get to know the song titles and corresponding with the songs, because they is not always going to line up in a way that you think of. You know, some are very straightforward, like Draw the Line. Other ones are like Critical Mass. But I love Critical Mass. That's one of those ones you really... I think it's kind of been lost by the wayside over the years, which is a bit of a shame. I really, if I was doing a radio station, it's one of those ones I'd definitely give some play again, give a little love to. Then we go into Get It Up. This is another one where it just kind of doesn't stick, just kind of and it's gone. Bright Light Fright. I don't remember where I heard this song for the first time, and because I'm pretty sure it's not on the Pandora's box set. I'd have to go back and do a double check, maybe. But I don't remember being on there. Maybe I heard it somewhere else with the Joe Perry project or something. I don't know, but I really totally dig on Bright Light Fright. I think this is a great song. And I do apologize for any noise you're going to hear in the background, because it sounds like garbage pickup is finally showing up, of course, when I start recording, right? So Bright Light Fright finishes off side one of the vinyl. And overall on side one, I mean, Draw the Line, great. Critical Mass, fantastic. Bright Light Fright, pretty good. But I gotta say that I really do find side one the weaker side of the two on this album. And side two, I only knew half of it going into this for sure. Like Kings and Queens, I've known because it's on the Pandora's box set, but the version that's on there is a live version, and I definitely prefer the studio version. Definitely prefer the studio version. The Hand That Feeds. This was a new song for me. Absolutely love The Hand That Feeds. Great song. Sight for Sore Eyes. This isn't a bad song. Not something I would go out of my way to listen to on its own necessarily, but it's an okay song. And then Milk Cow Blues, which I also know from the box set as well, but I believe on the box set it is also done live. I could be wrong. Um, the second side, the songs are a little bit longer, a little less commercial, but overall more instrumentally in depth and a little more enjoyable. Okay, so one thing that's interesting about this album is I would say that for me, three of the big standout songs on here, that would be Draw the Line. Well, not Draw the Line. Sorry, it's not including this. Okay, the standouts on this album for me, like the true blue standouts for me on this album, are Draw the Line, Critical Mass, Kings and Queens, and The Hand That Feeds. Those are the true standouts to me. The ones that I really like. Every time they come on, I really stand up and go, "Yeah, cool." Now, there's another thing I also should point out with The Hand That Feeds and Sight for Sore Eyes. You could almost hear a little bit of that disco influence creeping in. This would have been '77, so disco was around, and you got that bit of a dance beat going on and going in there, and it's creeping in a little bit. And I personally like it. I liked when Kiss did it too, when they introduced a little bit of that disco element in there, man. So it really works for me with The Hand That Feeds and Sight for Sore Eyes. It really does. I really dig it. Gets into it for me. But going back to what I was saying with Critical Mass, Kings and Queens, and The Hand That Feeds, um, those songs all include Hamilton as a writing credit. And I have always said that when it comes to writing in Aerosmith, when everybody always goes on about the Perry Tyler connection, which Draw the Line is a Tyler Perry song. But Critical Mass is Tyler, Hamilton, and Douglas. Kings and Queens is Hamilton, Kramer, Tyler, Whitford, and Douglas. The Hand That Feeds is Hamilton, Kramer, Tyler, Whitford, and Douglas. So when you really kind of look at it, Hamilton over the years has really kind of gotten screwed a little bit. And the same thing with Whitford. I really usually tend to be a big fan of Whitford songs. Usually Hamilton and Whitford in particular. And I don't know if they just stopped kind of writing because they didn't have really anything to say anymore. They just kind of got pushed to the side, or what happened, or they got off the drugs, so it just wasn't there anymore, because there's a lot of musicians that claim that as well. But that's really says a lot, and the bass is really there. You can tell that these songs were bass driven, man, and I love a bass driven song. Now Douglas. Okay, so Douglas would be Jack Douglas, who was the co-producer on this album along with Aerosmith. I don't know enough about Jack Douglas to make any opinions or to have any real thoughts or considerations one way or the other on that. And I do like one thing I also forgot to mention with Bright Light Fright is it is actually a Joe Perry song. And that's one thing that I really Steven Tyler definitely has the distinctive voice, and I mentioned in other reviews, Joe Perry's voice, not a big standout. It's very kind of basic sounding voice. So, it's going to get lost on the radio. It's going to get lost, for singles, stuff like that. It's not going to stand. But when you get to hear him on an album and he's really kind of digging in there, giving you his blues, man, it's him. You got to respect him for it. And it's not that he's a bad singer either. He's just got from a guy's perspective, he's got a very basic male voice. It's just not a standout. Like Steven Tyler pops. You know Steven Tyler when you hear Steven Tyler, right? You hear Joe Perry, and it's not a matter of, oh, you just don't hear him that often. No, he just really doesn't have a distinctive voice. It's not a voice that has that big pop to it you'd expect. And by blues standards, white guy blues standards, really, it's a very basic kind of voice. And no, like, once again, that's no disregard. It's just, some guys have distinctive voices, some guys don't. Facts, you can't do anything about it. The whole way around, would I suggest this album? Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, man. This is an album I really kind of wish I would have picked up sooner. Is it as good as, say, Poison the Attic, which is one of the few albums I outright will call a perfect 10 album? No, this is not a perfect 10 album because I don't want to listen to every single song from beginning to end on this album. There's very few albums I do honestly consider perfect 10s, and one of the key factors of being a perfect 10 album is is it perfect from beginning to end? Do I want to listen to every last song the whole way through without ever skipping it ever? Like, no, this is not that album. However, let me be very clear. This album is better than anything they released in the 90s. Might be on par with Permanent Vacation. I know Permanent Vacation gets a little bit of hate, especially nowadays, with the introduction of ballads and whatnot, and it being overly commercialized and whatnot. But I really do dig Permanent Vacation. Given a choice between Permanent Vacation and Pump, I'll take Permanent Vacation any day of the week, because Permanent Vacation still felt like it was an Aerosmith album. It was, but it wasn't. This is definitely on par with that. Arguably better than that. When you get to the second side of this, that's the other thing too, is this album, I would say, has less filler than Permanent Vacation does. But that's just my thoughts, my views, my opinions. Let me know what you think. That's what the comment section is for. On your way down to the comment section, you'll see there's a couple links that I've left behind different ways, take you to different spots. Check those out. There's a like button, a subscribe button, bell for notification. Please hit those. Otherwise, folks, peace, love, take care.